Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Nearly Senior Citizen here. Greetings, boys and girls, and welcome to this. It is another brand new day. Let me check the date. 7:11 a.m. on Friday, the 21st of September. And here's a little saber/cream of the hamster band, Cookies and Cream. Her and the other little fellow. They play a band, they're a duet, they tour. Well, they don't really. In Fantasyland, they do all that. They're just hamsters, of course. But it's just kind of funny to talk about like that. She is a cutie. I woke her up, so she just nibbled at my knuckle because it must smell like cat food. But she's a cutie. I'm going to put her back in her cage because, as stated, I just woke her up. She was in her little box, so here we go. You don't have to jump. There we go. Down you go. Thumbs up, little one. Oh, very cool. She didn't run. She's just sniffing at her house right now. Very, very cool. She is a cutie. And I love hamsters, so it's a good thing. She is really, really nice. I mean, she's got issues and she's skittish. I mean, unfortunately, well, little critters, as sentient as they may be, with their tiny, tiny, tiny little brains, but they also, because they're critters, have a lot of instinct. And instinct, it's just written straight into their DNA that you need to panic. That's why I was reading up on like bunnies and the guinea pigs downstairs, and why hamsters, they can't help freaking out about stuff. That's like with bunnies, no matter how much you like bunnies, don't ever think you're going to be able to pick them up and cuddle them. You really, some of them, yes, but on the whole, being held reminds them too much through their instinct, right into their DNA. It reminds them of being held, captured, because they're prey animals and they know it. So holding a rabbit just freaks it out, and it can't help it. Same thing with guinea pigs. I mean, they may trust and love you, but you trying to pick up the guinea pig is going right into its DNA of, I'm under attack, I need to get out. And that's why hamsters and all that, they may trust and know and love, but you move quickly or you reach for them, their DNA and instinct just goes, time to get out. Doesn't matter what they may be thinking up here, because they don't have a whole lot of thinking room. The instinct takes over and phew, even though they may be going, oh gosh, I know the smell, I know that I'm safe. So you gotta do what you can. And that's okay. I mean, all animals are awesome. The whole planet is awesome. So, I mean, not all animals seem awesome. As a minor aside, just because I bubble sort of my brain and talk at random, one of the last few animals with tusks is actually an animal called a hyrax. It looks like kind of like a big lumpy potato. It's bigger than a guinea pig. It's kind of a short-haired mammal. And it's like only this big and looks like a bad-tempered potato with legs. But it has tusks. And its closely related relative, that makes sense. Its closest relative is the elephant because of its tusks. And that's kind of cool. So it's a little tusked animal. Another odd animal is one of the last few remaining descendants of the saber-toothed tiger. Frightening, terrifying animal. But there are still a couple saber-toothed animals still in the world. And one of them, the last remaining descendants of the saber-toothed tiger, is a strain of possum. Yeah, it has saber teeth. Just those possums. And so far they rose, evolutionary, and how far they've fallen. Not that there's any rise or fall in evolution. Evolution is just adaptation to a local area. And if an area is large and you split up and you adapt to that, then you're going to have micro adaptations for each area. It's just natural selection and evolution is just adapting to fit into an area. because those animals that can live there live and have children. Those that don't die. There, that's evolution. That's what it is. And it just goes on like that over millions and billions of years. So the descendants of those that live become more adapted to an area so that their children can live more, and those not as adapted to an area don't. There, that's evolution. That's so evil, isn't it? Adaptation to an area. That's it. That's what evolution is. But the saber-tooth has evolved with the relatives and the descendants, changing time, changing atmosphere, changing weather. Now the only last descendant is a possum. Thumbs up. I think it's a couple possums actually, but it's like one in the Midwest of the US. So that's kind of cool. Possums are ugly and hideous and kind of cute at the same time. Baby possums are cute as the devil. I mean, they have a lot of fur. They have great big radar dish ears that are moving anywhere. My problem with possums is, the wild possums anyway, is because they have a lot of fur as a baby, and then when they grow up, it's like that same amount of fur is now covering a larger animal, and so they're scruffy looking fur. I don't know if that's just because they're out living in the wild and what they have to eat, or if it's just they have scruffy fur. Because I've seen videos of people that have like possums that they just have as snuggle bugs, and you can see their saber teeth on the possums that these people are cuddling, but they are just snuggle bugs and they look so cute. I mean, they look like possums. They got the possum face. You know, it's a great big possum face, so it doesn't look like any other animal that you're used to. But, they're just so cute and snuggly. Give them a chance and an opportunity, they just turn into, like, kitty cats. So, thumbs up for that. When I lived in Bellingham back in the mid-90s, must have been in the mid-90s, I had a huge possum problem in our house. I say I had a huge problem in our house because I was renting a house along with others, and so I was just one person renting out the house. But I would always come downstairs and there would be possums like in the kitchen, and I'd have to scare the possums out of the kitchen and stuff like that. And one time I was in my room upstairs and I heard a clunk from downstairs, came down, and a possum, I don't know what the heck it had been doing, but it was in the living room and it had climbed into an empty clothes hamper up on a chair, and the thing went thump, and the thump I heard was it falling down and the laundry basket falling over the top of it. So when I saw it, I just scooted the thing outside and then lifted up and chased it outside the house. Even the others that I had, as much as I didn't like the fact that there were possums crawling around in the kitchen, when I would open up the swinging door and go into the kitchen, I never hurt them or anything like that. The closest I came to hurting one was when I took a butcher knife, but then I made sure the dull edge was on top, and when I just slid the dull edge underneath the belly, lifted it up, and then put it out the utility door. So I used the butcher knife as a shovel to get the critter outside. I didn't want to hurt him. That was never my intent. I just didn't want him in the house. Thumbs up for that. Oh yeah, one thing I did want to kind of minor talk about as a very, very minor thing is Sony has announced the PlayStation Classic. And there's so many people that are going like, oh, I'll just stick with, like my Nintendo Classic or whatever. And it's like, I gotta get one of those. Even though I have, where is it? Oh, it's behind my chair, isn't it? Even though, I don't know where it is. Somewhere over here. Oh, it's right there. No. Somewhere over behind me, I have my PlayStation 1. It's not an actual PlayStation. It's not a PSX. It is a PS1. The PSX is the big gray bulky box. This is a PS1, which was the reissue where the thing is just barely bigger than a CD. And it's got a flip-up lid that it came with a bundle that you could get that had the flip-up LCD lid. So I have my PlayStation 1, and I have just this entire upper shelf and half this lower shelf. These are all PlayStation 1 games. So I've got a ton of PlayStation 1 games and my PlayStation 1 to play them on. And if that ever goes, I gotta get myself a PlayStation 2 to replace this old monster. That's an original PlayStation 2 from 2001, and it still runs. So thumbs up for that. But the thing I wanted to talk about with this one, just pointing out my console background stuff here, is I missed home console stuff entirely. I was born in 1962, so when I was a late teenager, that's when home electronic stuff was really coming out. And what was coming out? Pong. Starting at like age 14, I think about that, they started coming out with Pong machines. Might have even been 15 or 16 when they started having home Pong, so you could play that tennis thing on TV. Ooh. And then they came out with the Atari VCS. And so I bought cartridges and we played with that, and that was good. And then I went into the Air Force, and while I was in the Air Force, there was the video game crash of 1983. But during that time, I had a VIC-20, and then I bought a Commodore 64, and I played with my Commodore 64 until like 1986 or 85 when I bought a Commodore Amiga. And then I had a Commodore Amiga, and then it went from a 1000 to a 500. And in 1993, I bought my first IBM PC clone. And then the first time I really paid attention to consoles was just after the PlayStation 1 had been released. I missed the Nintendo Classic entirely. I missed the Super Nintendo entirely. I have zero memories of those because I was in the Air Force and playing with computers. So by the time I actually got a console, it was down to, gosh, do I want a Saturn or do I want a PlayStation 1? Almost got a Saturn. Glad I didn't. But I bought a PlayStation 1. And it's been onward from there. So for me, my nostalgia for consoles is the golden machine on the hill, the PSX. My first machine, Final Fantasy VII, I cried during that one, during the first disc. I've gone through the first disc of that. When the disc part fell off and this thing fell down on the city, killing everybody. Holy smokes, that was intense. So yeah, PlayStation Classic, even though there's gonna be USB controllers, even though they don't have the thumbsticks, even though the selection of games isn't the best, hopefully you'll be able to play some of your own stuff that you can put on flash ROMs. But yeah, I want that even with those issues, because it's the shining machine. It is my nostalgia machine. That is the machine that I played with. So awesome. I sort of would love to get a Commodore 64 again too. Problem with that, of course, is you can either get a 1541 disk drive or a tape drive, and they were old and horrible back in the 80s when they came out. So this stuff now, it's hard to find machines. It's hard to find the disk drives and more. Luckily, they make things like these little connectors and stuff. So if you get yourself an actual Commodore 64, you can plug into the cables little card readers, and it treats the card, your little SD card, as a tape drive. Or it treats your SD drive as a 1541 disk drive. And it loads just perfectly. So that's a good thing. Not all games work as just images. So not all games are ever going to be used and used well, but that's okay. Oh gosh, yes, that's why. I had to buy the latest, I used my entire latest YouTube paycheck. I got $40. So I spent 35 of it on Bard's Tale 4 because in 1980, I was in 1985 when I bought it. I bought Bard's Tale 1 for the Commodore 64 while I was in the Air Force. Played it every single day until months and months and months had passed, and I finally beat the game. Graphed it out on graph paper, and I had to cut out sections of graph paper to tape into the into the map to make sure I knew what I was doing. So it was intense. So then when they came out with the remaster of it, I had to get the remastered Bard's Tale. And then they came out with the Bard's Tale 4, the sequel to it. That's my Nintendo. The Commodore 64 stuff. Thumbs up for that. Oh, shucks. I have a game channel. If you like to watch older people play video games, that's cool. If you could check it out. Hopefully I'll have like the link up there. You can click it and then go check it out. So that'd be awesome if you could go check it out. You don't have to, but if you do, it'd be awesome. It's not monetized. I'd like to get it monetized, but even if it never does because of YouTube's changing goalposts and just very, very few people check out my videos on my game channel. Very few. I think my last video in 36 hours has gotten like 7 views. Thumbs up. So if you can check it out, it'd be awesome. I've also opened up 24 hours worth of comments on my community tab. Yay! I'm going to go through and thank 20 to 25 people, and it is a range as stated because I have fibromyalgia, depression, more. I do my best, but even though I count in American Sign Language with my fingers right in front of my face, even watching my hand do it, I get lost. Thumbs up. If I mispronounce a username, no disrespect is intended. I'm an American English speaker. We're not good at names. And I'm not reading the comments right now. I'm just thanking people for having left a comment. So whether it was a good comment, a bad comment, an indifferent comment, you know, it's like, why aren't you dead of cancer? Or thank you so very much. Or you were a person and this was a video. Thank you so very, very much. The fact that you left me a comment is most appreciated. So calling up my phone. Ghost of October, I like that name. Thank you very, very much. And Worldwide Handsome, Jin's Flying Kiss, thank you very much. Avenging Sevenfolds, greatly appreciated. Jay, thank you very, very much. Jeed, thumbs up and thank you. Lee Troxoff, boy, I bet I got that nowhere close, but thank you very, very much. And Tree, thumbs up and thank you. Kathy Kit's Cat, here's hoping things get better for you quick. Samuel Chisholm, thank you very much. I bet that's nowhere near pronounced correctly, but thank you. Matcha Shortcake? Matcha Shortcake? Not sure, but thank you very, very much. And can you find me too? Probably not. You're probably good at hiding, but thank you very, very much. And Louis Gomez, thank you very, very much. Daniel Ernst, thumbs up and thank you. Angle Cringe. Angle Cringe, interesting. Thank you very, very much. Shane the Majestic, greatly appreciated. Big Brother Bomb, thank you very much. Koi, K-O-Y, not I, so thumbs up. Thomas S, thank you very, very much. I'm looking for names as I scroll. Get inked up, Ball God. It's put all as one big word. For get inked up was one word, and so I was trying to figure out how to say it as I was reading it. So thumbs up and thank you very, very much. King's Crossing, thumbs up and thank you. Francisco Gomez, greatly appreciated. Jack M 405, thumbs up and thank you. Mama Gave Me Dome. Okay. Thank you very, very much. Greatly appreciated. And last but not least, Scott Allen. Thumbs up and thank you. Each and every one of you. Yep. Bonk. Up against a poor hamster cage. You get me out of my head, into the world, dealing with actual people, and it is a good thing. As an extroverted introvert, I don't like to be around people, but at the same time, I actually do need to be around people for very short periods of time. This doesn't exactly count as people, but it allows me to bubble sort my brain and talk out my hopes and fears. Thank you very, very much. It is greatly appreciated. Oh, my poor nose. Oh, that's the pressure from my sleep mask that does that. And then I have to go through and make sure all my pores get cleaned out through there because it just smushes all the skin oils and dirt and stuff with my sleep mask. And I get huge blackheads through there. So I have to make sure that all the pores are cleaned out or I'm going to get mega blackheads. You know, the kinds that are like big as BBs and you dig them out and they're like blobs that are that big. No. So I work on this stuff daily, my poor tortured skin. Oh, darn. If you could check out my various links, I've got a whole bunch of stuff. It'd be awesome if you could check it out. I thank you very, very much if you could donate to my GoFundMe campaign or become a Patreon.com patron like one of these beautiful and awesome people. Thank you very, very much, but don't feel obligated. I don't feel entitled. Thank you very, very much. I do take all good wishes, and I'm positive on the back of my heart, though. And if you could toss me a like, I do appreciate all the positive validation I get. And if you could subscribe to the channel, that would be cool. I would understand if you don't want to, but if you do it, that's awesome, but thank you very, very much. It is appreciated. Really. Oh boy, I'm going to hopefully have a game video, hopefully a reaction video, hopefully a game video. Well, I do have a game video. I just need to edit it for my game channel, so thumbs up. You take care. Have a great day today. I'm kind of rushed at the end. I always get rushed at the end just because I get lost and ramble. So take care, and thank you so very much.